now we're going to stay in Cleveland with Mike Gallagher, who's a Cleveland Mountain Rescue. Over to you, Mike.
Good morning, Royal Highness.
Morning.
As Richard's already said, another interesting year in mountain rescue life. Nationally, the call-outs from all the teams increased by about 4 to 5% in 2020 from 2019. And given the fact that we were locked down for substantial parts of time, it shows the dramatic increase when lockdown was eased. For our team, lockdown 1, as Richard Lewis said, was very compliant, very quiet. The hills were quiet, and our team only really dealt with mainly people with mental health issues. So they're out lost, trying to commit suicide. I think we had 5 of those, mainly in the Cleveland area rather than North Yorkshire. And then the second that the Prime Minister relaxed the rules and lockdown, we had 7 call-outs in 10 days. And that was mirrored across quite a few of the local mountain rescue teams. And after that, things did settle back to a more normal routine in this area. Interestingly, from a national picture, the lakes and Wales were quieter over the whole year as people stayed more local, and the areas that were close to the big urban centres, like the Mid-Pennines, Peak District, our northern teams were much busier as the year finished. So there's quite a change in the usual routines as such. The biggest challenges for mountain rescue with our normal call-outs was really just around the normal things like getting hold of PPE early enough. That's now been established and sorted. And then the extra time pressures of decontaminating the equipment, the vehicles, and just keeping our team members safe. It's all very well saying staying 2 meters apart, but when you have to go up to a casualty and then carry them, that obviously creates big issues. But generally speaking, mountain rescue have dealt well with that, and all 8 teams in North Yorkshire and the North East have remained operational throughout, so which is pleasing to hear. We have been involved in the floods in 2020. We dealt with the 3 big storms that came through just before the pandemic. Luckily, with those storms, North Yorkshire got off fairly lightly. I think the main impact was slightly south of our region, but all the teams were out supporting the local community. And as Richard Flinton said, we had teams out supporting Moulton with Storm Christoph more recently. Our team was more focused on East Cleveland, where there was quite a lot of localized flooding, and in supporting things like the district nurses getting to patients in quite remote areas. We also had impacts. Bizarrely, we had a whole spate of people trying to cross fords in high water, and so we had 3 or 4 cases of having to rescue people, the vehicles pinned against bridges or washed downstream, which is just the kind of a quirk of people's frustration trying to get out and do things in poor weather. The big challenge for mountain rescue, as with all charities, has been funding. We picked up in March very, very quickly that all our traditional fundraising, which is very people focused, just collapsed completely. And that applies to a lot of the charities. We were very, very fortunate, most of the teams were, with the public donations that came online to support the teams, and also the grant awarding bodies that I know you're going to be speaking to later, who really stepped to the mark and helped out the teams with frequent grants and quite generous grants. Moving into 2021, the funding challenge is by far our biggest worry. We don't see our traditional events restarting very quickly. You know, it could well be June, July before the kind of people focus gets underway again. Our team's already cancelled our March event, which normally brings in about 6,000 to 7,000. So again, we're going to be very reliant on the public support and donations, which, to be fair, in North Yorkshire and North East, is that they are massively generous to all the teams. And also, hopefully, that funding will still come through from the grant awarding bodies that we can apply for. And we remain optimistic that we'll arrive with better times. But we saw a massive increase in people who just aren't normally on the hills. And from our point of view, that there wasn't an issue with it. It's many, again, slips and trips, chest pains, heart attacks, that sort of thing. But I think the most outstanding memory was the amount of litter and damage they caused. Our team were out regularly supporting the National Trust and National Park, just trying to tidy up some of the hotspots, because it was just went from nothing to overwhelming amounts of damage and trespass and whatever. It seems to have settled back to a more normal routine now, which is good.
But thank you. That was brilliant. Thank you very much indeed for that, and well done to all your team for all you do. So it's an amazing effort, and it's a big area to cover as well. But anyway, listen, I'm not going to keep you any longer. I really appreciate all the time you've given this morning and for all your briefings, and thank you very much indeed. Roll on spring, and roll on the path out of the pandemic, and I just thank you for all the hard work that you've done over the past year. And it's been a long year, but thank you for all that you've done. It's been absolutely brilliant, and it's great to hear the spirit of the community up there. So and I wish you the very best of luck, and thank you for your time again this morning. Appreciate it.